Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel for our Saturday craft day with Kraftgali. I am going to be doing a very clean and simple card that takes no time at all, very simple to do, and I'm pulling out my Catherine Puller inks and we're having a good time with this set. This is a triple layer stamp set, which I don't think that I've ever actually used before. I think I had like a cheap version years ago, but yeah, I've never really dove into something like this. So it's very easy to figure out. It does take a couple times, but once you start seeing those images stamp out, oh, they're just beautiful. So I have two different color hues of ink here. So we're using pinks and we're using greens. First thing you're going to do is take the most solid layer. You think about if it's going to cover the most of your image or be the most of your image, you want it to be the lightest color. Now, I think I probably could have done a little bit lighter than this. I learned a couple things along the way. Again, my first time kind of doing the double, triple layering of stamping. And so I kind of had a little bit of trial and error, but most of that was just trying to line them up perfectly, which the first two are easy to do, but then this middle one kind of threw me for a loop. I wasn't quite sure if that was right, and the center didn't look all that perfect. However, at this point, it didn't matter to me because I'm going to be covering that center anyway. So I'm taking my mask here, which this is some Post-it label tape, and I just made a quick mask to cover that up because I'm going to be doing some layering of these flowers. So you can see here, I go through the second one much faster. I'm just going to show you basically the highlights of the stamping on this flower, and I skipped the third one, I do believe. Again, I'm using Catherine Puller inks. These are fantastic inks for something like this, to get a solid image, to have it stamped perfectly the first time. It's really, they're just really great inks. I'm a huge fan. If you've been following me, you know that I have a slight obsession with the Catherine Puller inks. So I'm going to mask this off. Now we're going to take to doing the leaves. Now the leaves have a 3 set as well, 3 set stamp. I think it might actually even have 4. But I didn't want to get too risky with my project here. So I just kept it to what I thought was the 3. So you have your solid in the lightest green, medium green would be this outline, and then the darkest green would be this little image here. It kind of makes it look like a fern, so you can kind of see. Very pretty. And the great thing about this stamp set too is you don't have to do this layering stamp. If you don't want, you can color them. So basically you can stamp out the second one that I used and just go ahead and color. Okay, so that was it for the card, for the stamping. So fun. And if you're like me, you got into this hobby for the stamping. So this is really great to enjoy that aspect of it. I stamped out the word heartfelt in Versafine Clair Nocturne ink, gave me a really sharp, crisp image. Used my anti-static powder bag for this black piece of cardstock, and then I'm going to stamp that with heartfelt condolences because I don't have a lot of sympathy cards, and so I just kind of figured that was one genre that I would like to add a couple more to. I'm going to heat set that with my Wagner heat tool, and then it's very powdery looking, but once that's dry completely, you can just take your microfiber cloth or a Swiffer jet type of thing, any kind of cloth like that, and just wipe it up. Okay, so here's my new little tool and toy that I got. This is the Prizm from Spellbinders. It's a very small die cutting machine for my desktop. So I still definitely am using my large die cut machines, of course, but they're elsewhere or I have to pull them out. Well, this one can sit right on my island and cut up little things like this. So super fun. I just had to get my sandwich right and then I pushed it through. Now, when I actually ran it through the die cutting machine, I was sure that I got it wrong because there did not feel like a lot of pressure at all going through that thing. So I was like, oh, this is going to be a total bust. But when I pulled it out and actually looked, it totally did cut through. And not only did it cut through, it left the normal mark on the other side. So yeah, it works really well. So I was happy about that. And I think if I'm using my glass mat, it'll suction better to the bottom and then it won't move at all. I'm going to pop up the condolences word with some foam tape here. and that's going to add a little bit of extra to the sentiment. So this card right now, as it is, a little bit too plain for me, but that's why we embellish, right? This is why we embellish. So I am going to get my card base ready, and then I'm going to show you how, just with 2 items, I embellish this card. I am going to use the black Nuvo drops, and I'm going to use some silver stickles. Any color would do. I think that would be whatever you want to choose. I think it would look pretty. But the sparkle in the stickles is just magical. So I used some art glitter glue there to put that panel right onto my card base. This is an A2 size card. That's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'm going to take some Nuvo sparkle pen, and I am going to just color in the flowers here just to give them a little bit of shine. This is probably, all of them work really well. I do like the Nuvo pen. Particularly, I might be a little biased towards it because it's cheaper, and I can get 2 to a pack for almost the same price as you can get one of the others, unless you're using a coupon at the craft store. So, okay, and then some stickles right there in the center, and that's going to give that some fun sparkle. And lastly here, I'm going to take my black Nuvo drops, and I am going to make the tiniest of dots around this flower, just for a little bit something extra. They're not big, they're not meant to be like enamel dots, you know, like how we normally do with the big circle. It's not meant to be like that. It's just little drops. And if I could have done this with a paintbrush, I would have. In fact, I was tempted to just splatter black paint on there, which I thought would look nice too. However, I did not want to get any black paint on my flowers. So, and I didn't feel like masking. That was my lazy moment. So there is the finished card. It's clean and simple in my book, and it was very fast and very easy to do. So I definitely recommend double, triple layering stamp sets. I think they're a lot of fun. And so I don't know, let me know what you think. Do you use these stamp sets? This is definitely my first real go at it, and it was a good time. I will list everything I use below. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you don't want to miss anything from us. We're back here every Saturday for a Kraftgali video. Head over to the shop to see what she has in store. And until next time, we hope you have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.